Take a listen to this clip. Riley Gaines totally torching one Brittney Griner. It's really not fair. It's just not right.
I have never seen an organization more committed to self-imploding than the WNBA. A few weeks ago, I made this video highlighting how it appears Brittney Griner said, "Bleep, white girl," after fouling out in a game against Indiana Fever, the team that Caitlin Clark plays for. Some people like Jamel Hill, former ESPN host, says that no, she didn't say bleep white girl. She says bleep whack call, to which she then went on to call me a grifter for even pointing this out, but besides the point. You can watch and make up your own mind as to what it appears Brittney Griner is saying.
This is wild. Riley Gaines just dropped the mic on Brittney Griner, and the WNBA might never be the same. After allegedly making a racial slur toward Caitlin Clark, Griner thought she could walk away untouched. But Riley wasn't having it, and now the entire league is in full-blown damage control. Buckle up, because this just got personal. It happened in seconds, but the fallout is still unraveling. During a regular WNBA matchup between the Indiana Fever and the Atlanta Dream, tension was already high. Caitlin Clark, the league's newest superstar, was on the court. On the other side, Brittney Griner, one of the most polarizing figures in women's basketball. Then came the moment. Griner fouled out. As she walked off the court, cameras caught her muttering something under her breath. The audio isn't crystal clear, but what many believe they heard was "f***ing white girl" followed by the word trash. The video went viral within minutes. Fans slowed it down, analyzed it frame by frame. Was it white girl, or was she complaining about a whack call like her defenders claim? Even former ESPN host Jamel Hill jumped in, accusing anyone questioning the video of grifting. But when you actually watch the footage and see the timing, the tone, the body language, it's hard to ignore what it looks like Griner said. The words weren't shouted, but they were sharp, directed, intentional, and many believe they were aimed squarely at Caitlin Clark. In any other league, with any other player, this would have triggered immediate questions, press conferences, league statements, investigations. But in this case, the silence was deafening. The mainstream media dodged it. The WNBA acted like it never happened. That's when Riley Gaines stepped in and lit the fuse. While the WNBA stayed quiet and the media played defense, Riley Gaines stepped in with zero hesitation, and she brought the hammer. Within hours of the video circulating online, Gaines posted on X, formerly Twitter, and didn't mince words. She said, "Brittney Griner appeared to call Caitlin Clark trash and a f***ing white girl after fouling out last night." Just a reminder, this is who we traded for the Russian merchant of death. Now imagine if Clark had said the inverse. That wasn't just a hot take. It was a calculated, devastating blow to the entire WNBA establishment. One tweet, and suddenly the whole situation shifted. Because Riley Gaines isn't some anonymous internet commenter. She's an athlete who's been in the fire. Gaines first made national headlines when she spoke out against biological males competing in women's sports. She was mocked, labeled, even silenced, but she never backed down. She became a symbol of courage for millions of people who felt like their voices weren't being heard. And that's exactly why her words here hit so hard. She's not part of the basketball world. She has no agenda, no rivalry, no personal stake. So when she calls out Griner and the WNBA, people stop and listen. And her message was clear. This isn't just about one comment. It's about a league that picks and chooses when to care about respect, accountability, and fairness. She didn't just question what Griner said. She questioned why nobody was asking. Why wasn't the league investigating? Why wasn't the media pressing for answers? Why is silence acceptable when the target is Caitlin Clark, a young, white, female athlete who's done nothing but bring positive attention to the game? The backlash was instant. Fans flooded comment sections. Some praised Gaines for speaking truth to power. Others attacked her, trying to discredit her instead of addressing what she actually said. But here's the thing. Nobody could deny that she touched a nerve. Gaines threw the first real punch in a fight the WNBA clearly hoped would just fade away. And once she entered the ring, there was no going back. With Riley Gaines throwing down the gauntlet, you'd think the sports media would finally ask the tough questions. But what happened next was even more revealing than the original clip. Nothing. Silence, evasion, excuses. The WNBA didn't issue a statement. Reporters didn't press Griner for clarification. Sports outlets that typically cover every facial expression in the league with breathless analysis suddenly didn't see a story here. But one outlet did step up. Outkick, a conservative-leaning sports and media company that's never been afraid to stir the pot. They applied for media credentials to attend Griner's next game and ask her directly, "What did you say? Who was it aimed at? Do you stand by it?" The response? Denied. The WNBA claimed there was limited space available for press, a weak excuse that didn't fool anyone. Outkick had previously covered professional sports events across leagues without issue, but now, suddenly they weren't welcome. That's when Riley Gaines stepped back in, this time to torch not just Griner, but the entire league. One way to find out the truth? Ask Brittney Griner, but no one will. Outkick tried, the WNBA blocked them. And the hypocrisy was glaring. Just days before, the WNBA had poured resources into investigating a supposed racial incident involving Indiana Fever fans, a claim by Angel Reese that turned out to have zero evidence behind it. They launched an inquiry, issued a statement, and brought the cameras. But when there's actual video evidence of one of their most high-profile players potentially making a racially charged remark, no statement, no press conference, no accountability. The league didn't just stay silent. They actively shut out anyone who tried to break the silence. Think about that. A professional sports league, funded by fans, reliant on media coverage, is picking and choosing which truths get told and which ones get buried. And it worked for about 5 minutes. Because Riley Gaines wasn't about to let it go. And neither were the fans. This wasn't just a media blackout. It was a full-blown cover-up. And Gaines exposed it for what it really was. Damage control dressed up as professionalism.
Here's where things go from bad to undeniable. Riley Gaines didn't just criticize what was said, she pointed out the dangerous double standard that's threatening the integrity of the WNBA itself. Ask yourself this: what if Caitlin Clark, a white, Midwestern, college-turned-pro star with America watching her every move, had been caught on camera saying something racially charged about Brittney Griner? Would the media still be silent? Would ESPN brush it off as a misheard phrase? Would the league block access to reporters? Of course not. Clark would be crucified. Headlines would call her racist. Social media would demand apologies. Sponsors would vanish overnight, and the WNBA, they'd probably suspend her by morning. And yet, because the roles are reversed, suddenly no one wants to act. That's the exact double standard Riley Gaines blew wide open, and fans noticed. She wasn't just calling for accountability, she was daring the league to live by its own values. Because let's be honest, Caitlin Clark didn't ask for this drama. She didn't take a shot at anyone. She's just playing ball, filling arenas, inspiring fans, and bringing millions of new eyes to women's basketball. But somehow, she's become the target. Some players resent her success, some fans twist her confidence into arrogance, and some in the media act like her presence is a problem, instead of the gift it clearly is. Riley Gaines cut through all the noise with one simple idea. This isn't about race, it's about fairness. And fairness is supposed to be the core of sports. The same rules, the same standards, no matter who you are, no matter what your politics are, and no matter what color your skin is. But what Gaines exposed is a league that talks about equity and then turns around and applies it selectively. That's not social progress, that's corruption, hiding behind activism. And the longer the WNBA ignores this double standard, the more they risk alienating the very audience Caitlin Clark worked so hard to bring in. Now you might be asking, why does Riley Gaines' opinion matter so much in all of this? Because she's not a basketball player. She's not from the WNBA. She's not even trying to be part of that world. And that's exactly why her voice cuts through the noise. Riley Gaines is a former NCAA Division I swimmer who became a household name, not for winning gold medals, but for standing up when everyone else stayed silent. She competed at the highest levels, only to be forced into races against biological males in women's categories. When she spoke out about how unfair it was, when she dared to defend basic competitive fairness, the media came after her. She was mocked, called names, accused of being divisive, but she didn't back down. That same fearless, unapologetic spirit is exactly what she brought to this controversy. Because Riley Gaines understands what it feels like to be the outsider, the one who's punished for telling uncomfortable truths. So when she sees another female athlete, Caitlin Clark, being targeted and treated unfairly by her own league and her own peers, Riley doesn't just see drama, she sees a pattern of institutions claiming to support women, but only doing so when it aligns with their politics. A pattern of media gaslighting, telling fans not to believe what they saw with their own eyes. A pattern of powerful organizations choosing silence over honesty. And that's why her message struck such a deep chord. She wasn't attacking Brittney Griner to score points. She wasn't clout chasing. She was holding the system accountable, just like she's done time and time again in her own sport. She reminded the world that sports should be about merit, not media narratives, about integrity, not identity politics. And the timing couldn't have been more perfect. The WNBA was already under a microscope thanks to Caitlin Clark's explosion into the spotlight. Now, with Gaines shining a national light on how the league handles controversy, it's clear this isn't just a basketball problem. It's a credibility problem, and the league can't afford to pretend any longer.
Let's step back and look at the big picture, because this isn't just about a single comment or one heated moment on the court. This is about how the WNBA is handling the biggest opportunity it's ever had, and how, incredibly, it's blowing it. In Caitlin Clark, the league has found something rare, a once-in-a-generation talent with mainstream crossover appeal. She's not just good, she's box office, sellout crowds, record-breaking viewership, social media buzz, merchandise flying off the shelves. For the first time in decades, people People who never watched the WNBA are tuning in. Young girls are buying jerseys. Sports bars are showing games. ESPN is giving more airtime than ever before. And how has the league responded? Not with protection, not with celebration, but with politics, resentment, and silence. Instead of embracing Clark's rise as a win for everyone, players, fans, sponsors, the WNBA seems more interested in appeasing veterans who feel threatened by her spotlight. Think about that. Instead of lifting up the star who's carrying the league into the mainstream, they're bending over backwards to shield the ones tearing her down. Riley Gaines put it perfectly. They're working against their own interests. They're choosing loyalty to the wrong things, and it's going to cost them. And fans are starting to see it too. Every time the league ignores a clip like the one involving Brittney Griner, every time a legitimate media outlet is denied access to ask real questions, every time false accusations are taken more seriously than actual evidence caught on camera, it chips away at the league's credibility. And more importantly, it sends a message to fans. We don't want to hear your concerns. We only want to hear what fits the narrative. That's not a growth strategy. That's a slow motion collapse. The WNBA has the golden goose, but instead of building around her and protecting the league's most valuable asset, they're trying to please everyone but the fans. The result? A fractured audience, confused messaging, and mounting backlash from the very people who could have become lifelong supporters. This isn't just mismanagement, it's self-inflicted damage, and Gaines simply said what everyone else was too afraid to admit.
If the WNBA thought ignoring the controversy would make it go away, they couldn't have been more wrong. Because what started as one viral clip quickly exploded into a full-blown credibility crisis, and the league has no one to blame but itself. Let's be clear, denying media credentials to Outkick wasn't just a logistical decision. It was a calculated move to avoid tough questions, to shield a high-profile player from accountability. Outkick didn't want drama. They wanted answers. What did Griner say? Was it directed at Caitlin Clark? Would the league be applying its own standards consistently? But instead of facing that, the WNBA shut the doors, locked out the cameras, and hoped it would all blow over. It didn't, because Riley Gaines, again, called them out. And this time, she hit a nerve that the league can't ignore. She said, Outkick is the only outlet that even tried to ask. The WNBA didn't just stay silent. They made sure no one else could speak either. That right there is the difference between silence and suppression. Silence is not saying anything. Suppression is stopping others from saying it too. And when that suppression becomes obvious, when fans see a league go out of its way to avoid the truth, it doesn't protect the brand. It destroys trust. The WNBA had an opportunity to address the issue directly, transparently, and with fairness. They could have launched a basic internal review. They could have acknowledged the footage and explained it. Even a brief comment from Griner might have helped calm the storm. Instead, they acted like it never happened, and that was the worst decision they could have made. Because here's the thing about controversy in the digital age. When you try to bury it, it multiplies. Fans talk, social media spreads, independent media like Outkick digs deeper, and voices like Riley Gaines, they amplify it. By refusing to deal with the issue head-on, the WNBA did more than protect a player. They validated every accusation about bias, double standards, and political favoritism. This was never just about a slur. It became about how the league handles truth and who they're willing to silence to protect the narrative. That's why Gaines's voice hit so hard. She didn't just point out what happened. She made sure the cover-up couldn't be ignored. So what happens now? Will the WNBA step up and apply the same standards to everyone, or keep playing defense until there's no league left to defend? One thing's for sure, Riley Gaines said what millions were thinking and forced the truth into the spotlight. What's your take on all this? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more no-spin breakdowns right here